Today, I gotta get something off my chest. It's been a long time since I've done a rant, and I think it's about time I do so. And this is something that's been stewing for months, years even, and I'm gonna bring it up. And this is kind of a twofold thing, and the cat is joining me for this conversation, aren't you? Yeah, you don't want to face the camera though. Because why would you want to face the camera? I'm going to make you face the camera. I'm going to make you face the camera because you're the star. You're the star of the show, right? Yeah. Anyways, here we go. A lot of people online are complaining about video game prices being too high. And I think a lot of people are missing the mark on modern video games and the problems that modern video games have when it comes to prices. So I'm gonna break it down for you. First off, I'm not really gonna touch on the whole thing regarding inflation and everything because let's be honest, we all know that games back in the day cost about 50, 60, 70, sometimes $80 depending on where you lived, okay? That's during the Super NES era and beyond. All I can say is that for the most part, games have pretty much been the same price. But here's the thing, yes, you get less with the games nowadays. I could remember getting so many in-game unlockables in every single game, and now you barely get that. So that's kind of at a loss. Games are obviously made differently. They're way more, big and boomier, and there's just so much more to a game nowadays when it comes to a release. So, with that said, the fact that they have almost quadruple the staff in a lot of cases, where before they were making video games with like a 16-person staff, now it's like a 400-person staff, like on Mortal Kombat or whatever. It's just like a totally different world when it comes to development, and you have to pay those people. So the fact that games aren't like $130 just right out the gate is kind of amazing, in all honesty. But this is besides the point. We are not going to talk about inflation anymore because the real problem is a twofold problem. The first problem with gaming in the modern era when it comes to pricing is the fact that it's not the pricing in and of itself. It's the fact that there are so many games that are coming out nowadays, and it is just completely impossible to collect games now when it comes to collecting everything. I don't know anybody that does that. Now, back in the day, during let's say the Super Nintendo era, let's go 30 years ago, 1995, okay? You had maybe 3-4 games tops, absolutely tops, that were like, I have to own these types of games. Chrono Trigger, Yoshi's Island, what else? Well, Dracula X came out back then. That would have been a rental for me probably back in the day, even though I loved Castlevania. But I probably would have just rented it. Or maybe I remember wanting it and just, I talked about this in my Dracula X and the Richter Belmont 16-bit, games video that I did maybe about a year or so ago. And, that was a game that I probably would have rented in all honesty. But the point is that there were 3 games. Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy's Conquest. That's the other one. So there were 3 games that I was I have to own these. So I think I got one as a birthday gift. I probably got one for a good report card, and I got another for the holidays, So that was it. That was all the games. Now there's a bazillion games that are coming out every single year, and I don't know how people buy them because there's just too many games. So that's the biggest problem, I think. It's not necessarily that there are, because the rest of the games you would just rent back in the day. You would just go to the rental store and be like, I'll just rent this game. I'm not going to buy it. I'll just rent it. Games that you wanted to play, but you didn't want to spend the money to buy, so you would just rent it, once, try it out, see if you like it, that sort of thing. But nowadays there are just too many games coming out and there's just not enough time. And as adults, we have other finances. When you're kids, you could save your money and that was it, or your parents would be nice and get you something, but not anymore. Like that ship has sailed. Nowadays it is, I have to buy all the games. I'm the adult, I have to buy them. And I have other bills, I have other responsibilities. A lot of us, myself included, have families that we have to take care of. So all that stuff comes first. So when it comes to gaming nowadays, like, games are just too expensive because there are so many of them. If there were less games coming out, then I think a lot of people would not be as worried about it. Now, let's go to the second part of this, which is my biggest gripe. Pre-order bonuses. Do you remember back in the day, you would buy a game and you would get a t-shirt, or you would get a giant poster, or you could buy a strategy guide and then send away for a poster, or you could buy a box of cereal and get a t-shirt with it, that sort of thing. When it comes to like the Donkey Kong shirt that I had on for my Donkey Kong Country retrospective that I did back in November. But I gotta say, two of the most recent pre-order bonuses that I got were like the final straw for me in terms of like quality. Now, I love me some Marvel vs. Capcom. Love it. One of my favorite game franchises, and I just so happen to have Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection on PS4 that I picked up. So, when I was going to pre-order this, because I don't pre-order that many games, but they were hammering home that there was a pre-order bonus with a comic book that would come as a pre-order bonus. Now, here's the thing. Look at this sticker. See that sticker right there? Okay. It says Marvel vs. Capcom comic book included, English only. So that was total lie, because they didn't create different copies of this that were pre-order. This was that's not a pre-order bonus. A pre-order bonus is you get it because you pre-ordered it. Not everybody gets it if they just so happen to find a copy of it on the shelf, or if they buy it on Amazon. If you buy this game on Amazon, chances are you're gonna open it up and find the comic. Now here's the thing, when I think comic book, I think regular full-size comic book. A regular-sized, human-sized, regular comic book. Not a tiny, mini, baby comic book that you could barely read. Look at this. This is pathetic. It's unbelievable that they decided that they were gonna make a comic book this size. What am I supposed to do with this? I can't put it in a plastic? What am I gonna put it in, a Ziploc bag? Like, this is ridiculous. And yeah, the art looks cool. It looks like a cool comic book, but look how freaking tiny it is. This is garbage. This is unacceptable. Seriously, when you say comic book, this is like a pint-sized comic book that you would get if you bought an action figure back in the day. Remember Masters of the Universe? They used to include those little tiny comic books. That is a free comic book that you would get, a little mini comic book. This is not a regular sized comic book. It's a mini comic book. Do better, Capcom. And don't advertise for a pre-order bonus that you're going to give me as a pre-order bonus and include it in for everybody to get. Anybody. Now the second one, and this is ridiculous. I remember pre-ordering games like Link to the Past. I remember pre-ordering games like, I don't know, Chrono Trigger. I remember pre-ordering, even like the PlayStation era had some great giveaways. I remember getting Soul Calibur 2 on GameCube, and they gave me a free shirt as a pre-order bonus. I remember Dino Crisis, same thing. I got a t-shirt. And there were just so many, even like up to fairly recently, Metroid Prime Trilogy, when that was released for the Wii. I remember getting a full-size poster as a pre-order bonus. I just pre-ordered Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D, or whatever it's called, the remake or whatever. It's not a remake, it's just like a re-release with, you know, questionably better graphics. I don't know. It's cool that they included all the bonus levels from the 3DS games, and we could finally play the game on like non-motion controls. But here's the problem. The pre-order bonus that they advertised was for a pen holder shaped like a Donkey Kong barrel. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. There is no weight to this thing. Look at this. This is ridiculous. This is not a pen holder. If I put one pen in it, it's probably gonna topple over. What is the point of this? When they showed pictures of this thing, and I get it, they didn't say actual size may vary on the advertisement online, but they made a big deal about this pre-order bonus, and I thought it was going to be a lot bigger than this. I figured, hey, if I'm getting a pre-order bonus for a pen holder, it should be able to hold several pens. This thing is so flimsy and light, it could probably topple over with 2 pens. Seriously, it's ridiculous. I can't believe that they did this. Now, there's other pre-order bonuses that came out even like during the DS era. I remember they did a lot of stylish pre-order bonuses. Do you remember Castlevania? Castlevania had a great pre-order bonus where if you pre-ordered was a Portrait of Ruin, you would get a full like a collector set. It was in celebration of, I think it's the 15th anniversary of the franchise or something like that. And maybe it was the 20th anniversary, I can't remember off the top of my head. Actually, yeah, 20th anniversary makes more sense. Because it came out like, what, 2006-ish? 2008, 2006? I can't remember off the top of my head. But the point I'm trying to make is that that is one of the best pre-order bonuses I ever received. And in there, you got a stylus. You got a timeline with a poster on the back. You got a CD. Okay, and I didn't pay any extra. I literally just dropped $5 down on the game and got that amazing pre-order bonus. There was some other stuff too. I think there was an art book or something like that. Those are fantastic. And why don't we get these? I don't know. Instead, we're getting this. This is ridiculous. And we're just keep pre-ordering these games and getting worse and worse bonuses. Why? Why? Game companies are making more and more money and laying off more and more employees. And that's the bonuses that we get. That's the thanks that we get for, and I don't know, maybe I sound like I'm being an ungrateful fan. I just remember that back in the day, and I know old man yells at cloud.jpg, but back in the day, you would get a pre-order bonus that was bigger than the size of your hand, and you could do a lot more with it. You could wear it. You could put it on display in your room, a nice big poster. You could, I don't know, something besides like a DLC code. I mean, even DLC codes would have been better than that. Make some exclusive DLC codes. I don't know, just when I got both of those pre-order bonuses, I was like, man, times have really changed. I'm curious what your thoughts are on both of these issues. Both the problem with too many games releasing at once or in large clumps, being the biggest reason why, you know, modern games are just too expensive. Not because of the actual prices themselves. Heck, half the games go on sale half off or $20 off or $10 off, other than Nintendo games, of course, within the first like 3 months. So it's like if you wait, you'll still get it. And the other part is the pre-order bonuses. Do you think that pre-order bonuses have kind of stagnated? Have they gotten worse? Have they gotten better? Leave me a comment down below. I'm very curious what you guys think on this topic. I'm done with my rant. I'm gonna go watch like some TV with my wife or something just to calm down and drop my elevated heart level. Thanks guys for watching. Stay tuned for more.